The Texan Woodstock took place just 14 days after Jimi Hendrix's performance in upstate New York on Monday, August 18, 1969. Most of the audience at Woodstock had left by then, and many looked into continuing their rock pilgrimage, this time down in Texas on August 30th. It was the 1969 of Richard Nixon's arrival in January and the end of the Summer of Love, setting the controls for a decade of lust. The Texas International Pop Festival was made possible thanks to Angus G. Wynn III. His father was the founder of Six Flags Over Texas.
It's bigger than ever, sweetheart. With new rides, new floors. Quite frankly, it's the entertainment capital of Texas.
Angus was no stranger to music, but one of the founders of Dallas's own Soul City, a music club that saw many rock and roll, blues, and soul luminaries perform their passionate setlists. Wynn was also one of the founders of the Dallas-based concert promotion company, Showco. Yes, the same Showco that became Led Zeppelin's right-hand partner for sound and logistics. The Texas Pop Festival became Showco's first large stage show and a sign of things to come. Wynn was one of the 150,000 attendees at the Atlanta Pop Festival held back in July 1969 and wanted to replicate its success by joining forces with promoter Alex Cooley, who was the man responsible for the rock and roll event in Atlanta. Yeah, that's Alex next to Emerson, Lake and Palmer at the Omni Atlanta 1977. He was the right guy to make things happen. With this being said, this is why the official concert poster for the Texas International Pop Festival looks very similar to the one for the Atlanta Pop Festival. Despite the nasty Woodstock traffic jam stories and such making headlines across the nation, Texan authorities worked with the promoters in favor of the event. They didn't expect the worst-case scenario but learned the lessons from 500,000 people in Bethel, New York. The chosen site by Angus Wynn was set at the Dallas International Motor Speedway in Lewisville, Texas. The racetrack had just opened its doors back in June, and it was a perfect venue to host a music festival including Hugh Romney, made famous at Woodstock. He got his nickname Wavy Gravy in Texas. The promoters expected around 150,000 people, and thanks to the Texan Police Authority, no violence took place. No one certainly wanted to mess with Texas.
Something to think about if you throw trash on Texas highways. Somebody up there is going to be watching.
Ghost Squadron leader. We've got one inside. Let's make an impression on this guy. Over.
And you don't want to mess with the Texas Confederate Air Force. So don't mess with Texas.
A nearby lake allowed hippie bathing activities, as well as personal lifestyle choices held at special tents, with free food and assistance provided by helping hands who just wanted to have a good time. 20 artists were selected for the 3-day festival. 9 groups and names performed at Woodstock, which contributed to strong ticket sales as an extension of the Woodstock craze and momentum. Such was the case for blues powerhouse Can Heat, the incredible string band, ethereal hippie queen Janis Joplin, Woodstock's show stealers Santana, who released their debut on August 22nd, Groove Master Sly and the Family Stone, criminally underrated Sweetwater, Long Jam Wizards 10 Years After, lead guitar bluesman Johnny Winter, and 60s poet John Sebastian. Unlike Woodstock though, which had folk music, Texas catered to a different crowd with strong emphasis on hard rock, blues, and psychedelic frequencies, similar to the Atlanta Pop Festival, where Led Zeppelin played on July 5th. The rest of the bill for Texas was made up of Grand Funk Railroad, who released their debut album just 5 days before the festival, Chicago Transit Authority, also enjoying their debut success with 3 hit singles, and the unmistakable sounds of guitar genius Terry Kath. The James Cotton Blues Band formed in 1967, B.B. King himself with 16 albums under his belt, American jazz flute extraordinaire Herbie Mann with a whopping 51 album credits by 1969, psychedelic soul band Rotary Connection with pre-solo career Minnie Riperton, promoting their 4th album Songs, made up of mostly cover songs, that is. American soul duo Sam and Dave, Stax's Records' own Delaney and Bonnie, touring their debut album Home, released back in May, including session musicians Booker T. Jones and Isaac Hayes. American songwriter Tony Joe White was also promoting his debut album Black and White. Rock band Nas released their 2nd studio album, Nas Nas, back in April. Their lineup included Todd Rundgren. West Coast rocker Spirit with Randy California on guitar had just released their 3rd album. And last but not least, the main focus of this YouTube channel, Led Zeppelin, was still promoting their fast-selling Burning Hindenburg Effect. The band was in the last portion of their 3rd US tour since December 1968. Their August 1969 schedule was very busy. I repeat, very busy, with them playing 9 shows alone in the 2-week period between Woodstock and the Texas International Pop Festival. Their average hour-long set at the time featured 5 numbers off their debut, plus the previous Yardbird live staple, Train Kept a Rollin'. August 20th saw them play 2 shows the same day at Schenectady's New York Aerodrome. August 21st shared the bill with Orpheus at the Carousel Theater in Framingham, Massachusetts. August 22nd and 23rd had Led Zeppelin play Florida's Pirates World with 3 local groups as openers. The theme park was the setting for some serious rock and roll business, but a small review from the show labeled them as disappointing. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Maybe the critic worked for Rolling Stone magazine, who knows. August 24th was next with a performance at Jacksonville's Memorial Coliseum. It seems all Zeppelin concert posters that year used the same press photograph, right? August 27th was a casino night at Hampton Beach, New Hampshire. And then it was a 2-day festival appearance in Queens, New York. The Singer Bowl Music Festival had several dates since June, featuring a long list of artists, including the Jeff Beck Group. The 6th edition was held on August 29th and 30th, labeled as the Guitar Virtuoso Show, with Led Zeppelin sharing the bill next to Buddy Guy and Larry Coryell. Oh yeah, and Jimmy Page oversaw the final mixing sessions for Led Zeppelin 2 on the same days, 29th and 30th, at New York City's A&R Studios. Talk about multitasking while performing on a music festival. Led Zeppelin 1969 was unstoppable, unbeatable. Then it was time to catch a plane and get ready for Texas, where they were originally billed as the Led Zeppelin at the International Pop Festival. Performance schedules were arranged to begin at 4 p.m. each day. Led Zeppelin played on a Sunday, on the 6th position after Chicago's 2nd time on stage. James Cotton, Delaney and Bonnie, the incredible string band who Jimmy Page admired, and B.B. King, who I'm sure Page admired as well. Past Led Zeppelin, it was a turn for both Herbie Mann and Sam and Dave's 2nd date at the festival, with closing band Santana performing their Woodstock highlights in full. Fun fact, Led Zeppelin and Santana shared the bill on another Sunday evening at Bath 1970 in England. Now it wasn't Led Zeppelin's first time in Texas, but their 5th visit, all of them taking place in August. Texan audiences were treated to special previews of 2 new cuts from their soon-to-be-released follow-up. The band was very well known in Texas by the time they headed out to Louisville, which made for a very special performance on August 31st, 1969. One for the record books, and one of the most famous early-day Zeppelin bootlegs with several releases through the years. I owned a CDR copy of it via LimeWire and played it 100 times at least. Now the band could have had a better set list for Texas, never mind playing right after B.B. King. Zeppelin's blues-drenched numbers were a serious contender. Their special style of psychedelia looked into the future with heavy rhythm attacks and flashy rapid-fire chops. They made sure to stand out in a very loud and competitive rock market. Led Zeppelin had the rhythm and blues stamina of Canned Heat with the effervescent bravado of Grand Funk, but they could outdo both bands in skill. Peter Grant's management, and Jimmy Page, the producer. The kings of the 70s paid their dues in these kind of festivals, with word of mouth quickly spreading on their conquests.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Led Zeppelin. Come on, let's hear it.
Considered by many like the next Cream and heirs to the soon-to-be disbanded Beatles, they were the second British invasion. Yes, I know there's The Who also, but The Who never had the impact these guys had from the start, never mind being at the right time, in the right place, and having that kind of business platform. Traveling across the United States in the summer with these songs was a right product in a year of vigorous rock and roll debuts like Santana. While Texas International Pop Festival did not have Woodstock's Jimi Hendrix nor The Who, they had the Fierce Rookies, Grand Funk, and Led Zeppelin. The British quartet was pure raw emotion, the Gibson Les Paul's volcanic shredding, John Bonham's physical drumming, almost a forefather of punk, John Paul Jones the astute arranger, every blues band wished they had a musician like him, and Robert Plant the long-lost brother to Janis Joplin, carrying the raspy vocal tradition into the next decade. Where Plant and Bonham shared the same newcomer spirit of, say, Santana, Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones were experienced players, and what followed for Led Zeppelin was the logical extension of a cosmic energy some 7 years in the making. The Texas International Pop Festival generated great reviews, and it put Louisville on the map, with attendance estimated at approximately 200,000 people. Led Zeppelin returned to Texas on March 28, 1970. Their International Pop Festival 1969 appearance was technically the band's last US festival until 1977 at the Day on the Green shows, July 23rd and 24th. Thank you very much for watching. Until the next time, bye bye.